Let's just do a little level up, and then we can talk to the Ruffies. So, let's see. Karlach. What are we gonna do with you, though? Larian. Change bestial heart. No, I don't want to. An animal aspect. No. Oh, we gained another aspect. Okay. And a little bit of health. That's nice. So, bear heart is always good if you don't want to die. While raging, you can use the diving strike. Nice on paper, but you don't always have the high ground in order to dive down from. Foes also have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you, and you can use stats as bonus. I mean, this is pretty good if you want to go from one target to the next. And the whole opportunity thing makes it easier for you to charge around enemies, so you can kind of ignore them. While raging, you can use Primal Stampede, and your movement speed is increased by 4. What does the Primal Stampede do again? Charge forward, taking all enemies in the way, and possibly knocking them prone. And then, once they are prone, they need to use half their movement speed in order to get up. This is good if you are attacking melee characters. If they are ranged, though, then it doesn't matter. So, that was the elk and now the tiger. While raging, you can use Tiger's Bloodlust, and your jump distance is increased by 4.5 meters. Jump distance is actually quite nice. Lash out to attack up to 3 enemies at once and make them bleed. Weapon damage. That is good. 2 meters though. It's kind of like like a cleave ability that you unlock if you're raging. It's actually kind of nice. Also like a horde breaker kind of thing. But the game itself is not really that problematic when it comes to a lot of enemies, because as long as the lot of enemies is weak, everything is fine. Because they have to get through your armor or whatnot. The problem is single target damage and high level armor, or like high levels of health also. So what I need is like anything that damages like a single target a lot. So, and this is also why the bear heart is pretty neat, because we only have a limited amount of actions, right? And this one makes sure that between the actions we're going to survive. So, no, what was that again? While raging, yada yada. Oh, interesting. Deals an additional 2 damage with melee and improvised weapons, and while throwing object. I actually did not remember the 2 additional damage. That makes raging pretty good ability. Has resistance to physical damage and advantage on strength checks and saving throws. At resistance to physical damage. So, wait a minute. Raging, you can use Unrelenting Ferocity and have resistance to all damage except psychic. Okay, so there's the normal raging resistance to physical, right? And this one gives you resistance to everything other than just physical. It is more like a wider range, if you think about it. Interesting. Interesting. Has resistance to physical damage and advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Is Bearheart really that good? Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. If all the rage... Huh. That's interesting. So wait a minute. Where's the rage in here? Can't really see it. But whatever. That's actually very interesting, because the most important thing about the damage is usually the physical. And if I can get resistance to physical from pretty much all of those bestial hearts, right? Then I can use the one that gives me other additional stuff. This is psychic would be nice. Unrelent, I don't really don't use Unrelenting Ferocity. Must up your stamina to heal yourself. Yeah. Doesn't. The thing is, if you use this, it usually ends rage. Can only be used once per rage. Yeah, not only can you use it once per rage, it ends rage, I think. There was something strange about that. Whatever. Wolf. You can use Inciting Howl. And your allies have advantage on melee attack rolls against enemies. This is good. Wolfhound is actually a very good idea, especially if you have multiple melee characters just pouncing on a single target. And the advantage makes sure that all of the attacks hit. It's pretty good. So not only do we deal more damage, we also get advantage. Very nice. On melee attack rolls against enemies within 2 meters of you, which is the next enemy. So if I focus down a single target, Wolfheart would be the go-to spell. Only problem about this is, what about elemental damages and so on? Question. Like this one would buff up Liesel as well. And Liesel does not have any advantage possibilities. The other way would be, if I use clouds, for example, and give everybody advantage that attacks enemies in that stand inside the cloud. So I don't need Wolfheart. So either I use the cloud or I use Wolfheart. The thing is, this would be a moving cloud. I can reposition it. It kind of acts like it, right? But it doesn't give enemies disadvantage. Anyway, attack rolls. Huh. But wait a minute. The cloud itself also gives advantage on ranged attacks. So that would also boost Larian and myself, because I use the crossbow a lot. So Wolfheart would only boost one character. The cloud would boost 2. What does the inciting howl do again? Each ally within earshot can move an additional 3 meters during their next turn. That would be very useful. But only if you need to get in range. Rangers? Well, everything that is long range stuff doesn't need to do that. So let's keep the bear heart. Yeah, it's just all about not dying pretty much on her. That's it. It may not be the best choice, but alright. So, let's see, what about this one? Adopt the powers of another mighty beast. Oh! Wait a minute. Aspect of the... Another. What's this called? Bearheart? Animal aspect. Can I... Wait a minute. What was the first aspect? They say another. Do they mean that I get an additional thingy here? Not just the heart, but something else? That's quite interesting. Adopt the powers of another mighty beast. Don't I usually... Yeah, the bear heart is something different. That's the... What's it called? Change your bestial heart, yes. And this is the aspect. Something different. But do I have an aspect down here? Something that says aspect. Bear heart, savage attacks, fast movement opportunity, but no. Okay, very interesting. The aspect of the bear infuses you with strength. Your carrying capacity, which is good, is doubled, and you have advantage on strength checks. Very nice. Strength checks, which is usually saving throws. But what about attacks? Tests whether an action is successful based on a dice roll. Oh, wait a minute. Strength checks. This would be very useful if you were to pick up enemies and throw them away, right? Like throwing things, especially targets. That would be very nice. And bonuses and checks difficulty class, yeah. So, the bear, what does it do? The bear infuses you with strength. Carrying capacity is doubled and you have advantage on strength today. I like the carrying capacity. The aspect of the chimpanzee grants you a nimble mischievousness. You gain resistance to falling damage, which is good, but I don't always use falling. And at one point I will be able to cast like Featherfall or whatever. And throwing camp supplies blinds targets. I do not throw camp supplies. I usually carry them around. I don't like that. Crocodile. The aspect of the crocodile increases your agility in the water. I'm not always in the water, but okay. Your movement speed is increased by 3 meters while standing in water-based surfaces. What is water-based? Do they mean a little puddle? Like if you summon... I think, yeah, if there is an ability that says summon water, then you can run around in it much faster, which is cool, but what you need to do is pretty much have the whole area be drowned in water for this to make any good sense. So this is... it only makes sense in an area where there is a natural amount of water, and you actually need to traverse a lot of distance. So maybe some swamp-ish area would be good. Actually, yeah, swamp area might be good. Usually your movement speed is hindered, but this may give you a little bit of an edge. On slippery surfaces like ice, you also... Water-based surfaces. Is ice water-based? Interesting. You also have advantage on saving throws against being knocked prone. You have advantage, but you can still be knocked down, which is a bit meh. So the aspect of the eagle enhances your eyesight. You can use see in the dark up to 12 meters and gain advantage on perception checks. This is good. Perception checks is always nice because... Well, wait a minute. Perception checks. What is a perception check? Because there's also survival, right? Survival and perception are actually two different things. And she can already see in the dark, so there's no reason for that. I don't want to use some of those aspects that already have an improvement that I know. The aspect of the elk grants you astonishing swiftness. You can use aspect of the elk, giving yourself and nearby allies extra movement speed. And how much is this extra? Okay, grants yourself and nearby allies a plus 1.5 meters bonus to movement speed. Why does it say 18 meters? That's kind of weird. And nearby allies. Maybe this is it. Like anyone within 18 meters gets that. And it also is until long rest, so it's a permanent kind of aura. And not concentration, which is good. Anyway, Honey Badger. If you're poisoned, frightened, or charmed, and you can poison yourself, right? So you can trigger this on purpose. At the start of your turn, you have a 50% chance to begin raging without expending a rage charge. So just by poisoning yourself and maybe using a... do I have poison arrows? I have acid arrows, but I don't know if I have poison or... Whatever. Without that. So this is some kind of resource saving mechanism. So you, instead of wasting rage charges, you're wasting poison stuff. Or... Actually, what does Rage do in terms of frightening or charmed? I think there was something else happening there. Rage ends early if the barbarian hasn't attacked an enemy or taken damage since the last turn. Has resistance to physical damage and advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Yada yada yada. Cannot cast or concentrate on spells. But what about the frightened stat? Does this one disappear? Cannot move. Frightened entities also have disadvantage on ability checks and da 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 da. I mean, it's nice that this triggers it, but do we get rid of the frightened stat if we rage or not? A number of times. Da, 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 da. I think there was something about raging, disabling this thing here. And also you can toggle that passive, that's also very interesting, but I thought... Unarmed defense? No, this is not it. Oh, wearing heavy armor impedes all positive effects of your rage. This is not good. So we want her to always have medium armor. I don't know if she had... Yeah, I think this is medium. Huh. What is as resilient as any armor? While not wearing armor, you add your constitution modifier to your armor class. Which is limited. So actually this bonus would be very, very good on higher levels of play. So not at the early, because the bonus is very, very low. And armor would be better, but later on in the game, maybe you can switch this around and just leave your armor at home. The aspect of the stallion creates safety in movement. Dashing grants you temporary hit points equal to twice your barbarian level. I mean, this is also kind of cool, but the thing about it is that you have to use dash, and dashing in here is a normal action and not a bow. What is this? Fast movement. Everything gets bonuses while not having heavy armor. Very interesting. Anyway, it would be nice if dash would be a bonus action and not a... I don't even know if it's bonus action on her or not, because sometimes there's a change happening and we just don't know it. So where was I? Anyway, yeah, this is cool, but you don't need additional hit points. You just need more than 0. That's it. And any additional hit point that is more than 0 but doesn't get turned around for dealing damage also is kind of wasted, right? So you need to deal a lot of damage, but you only need as much health in order to not die in combat. That's it. Maybe a little bit more just for safety, right? But you shouldn't focus too much on defense. That's just something to keep in mind. Alright, the aspect of the tiger infuses you with an unrelenting ferocity. You add an additional strength modifier to attack rolls against bleeding or poison targets and gain proficiency in survival. There you go. Proficiency in survival. I don't even know if I have proficiency in survival. Wait a minute. Can we check if we have proficiency somewhere? I don't know. Whatever. I'm hard barbarian. I am looking for the word proficiency. Advantage on... No. No. Modifier? Nope. This is item related. And that's pretty much it. I do not know if we already have proficiency in survival or not. It would be nice... +4 to survival checks. Wisdom. Stay alive in the wild. This... Like sometimes survival triggers finding item stash, hidden stash, and sometimes it's perception. Perception or survival. This is something that I actually have to look into real quick. So, perception. Let's see. So, there was a difference there. I just do not remember what gets rolled if you want to find treasure or not. So, used to detect hidden container. There you go. Perception is used for this. Hidden containers, mechanisms, and traps. Characters with the dungeon delve feat have advantage on this. Passive perception. And what about survival? Survival. Where is it? This one. Characters who are proficient can add their proficiency bonus when making ability checks. But what is it used for? Used in dialogue and detect buried treasure. Exactly. Wait a minute. So survival is used to find buried treasure chests. And I want to get the best possible outcome for it. Okay, and perception? Used to detect hidden containers. Huh. So they kind of do the same thing. So there's a difference. There's a hidden container. And then there are buried treasure chests. Buried treasure chests are survival, and hidden containers that are hidden differently, right? That are invisible, or I don't know. They will get visible using perception. So this kind of mean that both of those are somewhat similar. They kind of do the same thing in essence. They make stuff visible that was not there before, and also it's kind of the same stuff. It's a container, but they are hidden in 2 different ways. So detect things in its line of sight without rolling a skill check. Passive perception, interesting. Passive perception is most commonly applied against stealth when a hidden creature enters the Well, of course. And stealth checks. Alright. So you really have to use the wiki in order to make sense of certain things in here. Like, it's nice that it says alive in the wilds, right? But nothing in there makes your survival in the wilds any better. It's just maybe some survival rolls if you are next to a poisonous plant or something like that. But yeah, and it also tracking prey. Maybe there are some footprints that you can see, but you are tracking chests more than prey, which is very important. All right. So was it? Does it do anything else? You add an additional strength modifier to attack rolls, and an additional strength modifier on attack rolls makes it easier. Wait a minute, to attack rolls against bleeding or poison targets. So there's a conditional thing here. So first they have to bleed or be poisoned. The nice thing is if they are no, it's or. What if they're bleeding and poisoned? You add an additional strength modifier to attack rolls against bleeding or poison targets. So if they are bleeding, you get an additional strength modifier, or if they are poisoned, you get a strength modifier. But can you get more than one if they are both? That's weird. Whatever. Aspect of the wolf boosts your stealthiness. No, she's not stealthy. You gain proficiency in stealth and can use aspect of the wolf. And aspect of the wolf, you and nearby allies add your dexterity modifier as a bonus to stealth checks. Okay. You and nearby allies add your dexterity modifier as a bonus to stealth checks. Does it mean that we get the dexterity modifier on top of whatever is a stealth check, or does it mean that it just unlocks it? Because sometimes there's an unlocking of it and you get the dexterity modifier, and sometimes it gets added on top of whatever is there before. So the stacking thing is always a bit of a problem. Again, questions upon questions upon questions. So let's just hope that it does stack. I don't want to look at the wiki too much. The aspect of the Wolverine grants you the tools to relentlessly pursue your prey. When you attack a bleeding or poison target, again, bleeding or poisoned, you also maim it for 1 turn. And maim lowers the movement speed. Movement speed reduced to 0. Wow. For 1, so they basically can't move at all. Very nice. But the thing is, we want them to run away, because this is how you can trigger the what's this attack again? Attack of opportunity, and then we can deal an additional attack. If they are just standing there and don't do anything, they may do funny stuff. Attacks of opportunity are important, and therefore they have to move. So this goes against it and lowers our damage. And has this advantage on dexterity saving throws. Alright. Removed by healing. Alright, so removed by healing, but this is only for 1 turn, so it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so which of those was actually kind of cool? Proficiency in stealth? No. This is actually very good if you're focusing on like dexterity, dual wielding, or whatever. Some kind of a stealthy barbarian or whatnot. Add an additional strength modifier to attack rolls again. This is actually kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna go for the tiger. So this one is the hit points. The honey badger thing is the raging. But raging also means that I lose abilities to cast, which would be very annoying if you just enter rage mode automatically. You can use aspects of the elf game you nearby. No. Movement speed is not necessary. I can just jump. Yeah. Wasn't there some... Stallion was jumping, wasn't it? No. No. What was the jumpy thing? Whatever. So, eagle, you can see that... No, this is not it. Perception checks. Yeah, either survival checks or perception checks. That's a difference there. Aspect of the elk does... more movement speed. Your movement speed is increased by 3 in water. No. This is good if you want to fight on ice. Chimpanzee, you can resist falling damage. Frying camp supplies blinds the target, but for how long? Has this... Doesn't say for how long the enemy is getting blinded. Could be permanent. Has the disadvantage on attack rolls. Range of attacks and spells is reduced to 3 meters. Throwing camp supplies. What do they mean by camp supplies? Do they mean any item in camp supplies, or do they mean the 40 camp supply bag? Probably everything. So the blinded, they're blinded, yeah. No additional information. It probably is limited to just 1 turn or whatever. It's probably not forever. So your carrying capacity is doubled, and you have advantage on strength checks. The question is just how often do we do strength checks? Based on a dice roll, your ability modifier, any bonuses, and the check's difficulty. I like carrying capacity, but carrying capacity on a barbarian may not be useful because they are not using heavy armor, because otherwise they don't get their the bonuses unlocked. So you don't need additional carrying capacity. Very interesting. Yeah, we are going to keep this one over here, the tiger. That might be the best. Oh boy. Yeah, and then there's... Oh no, wait a minute. I'm actually not getting to level 6 with this one. I mean, it's kind of cool if we're gonna get an additional favorite enemy and so on, but how does that work though? You gain proficiency in investigation. Creatures you hit with ensnaring strike, either ranged or melee, have disadvantage on their saving throw. Nice. Their saving throw on what? The ensnaring thing, but I don't use that. You specialize in hunting creatures from other planes. You gain proficiency in arcana, and you can cast this stuff. No. You have thrown yourself a crown or nation and seek to bring its foes to ruin. Gain a proficiency. Skill proficiency in history and armor proficiency with heavy armor. That's actually kind of cool. So we can use heavy armor, but I want to get the bonus from dexterity on the medium armor and not the heavy armor stuff. So this is also a character that I don't want to upgrade too much in that regard. You swore to hunt the enemy of a holy or druidic order. You gain proficiency in religion and can cast Sacred Flame. This is interesting that you can cast it, but it kind of goes against the idea of using melee attacks. So in this case, we are not focusing on one thing and trying to maximize its damage. It just gives you a wider range of opportunities, but not the one that we want. This though, this right here is actually something very useful. Urban Tracker in particular. This is a nice proficiency in sleight of hand, right? If you want to go more on the dexterity, right? Find Familiar is also kind of cool, but the problem with Find Familiar is that you can only use it once every short rest, so it's a bit meh. You have spend endless days, resistance to poison damage. This is actually really cool. Any element that you get resistance to, pretty nice. But again, that might be useful if you use the ranger more as a melee character that is going to take damage no matter what. So let's see. Let's go into another class. As I said, we got 5 rangers. We're not going into barbarian, we're not going into bard. I actually thought about just getting 1 level in, what was it, either cleric or fighter. The reason for this is something very interesting, because as a fighter we can get defense and get an additional armor class, which makes us even less likely to take the damage if an enemy attacks us, but again, may not be that useful. The other one would be to use the cleric. This is just how to use like one of those last slots there. So the deity does... all of this is not that important. All of the cantrips also not that important because I'm not using this. I'm using melee attacks most of the time. The funny thing about this is actually the war domain with this subclass here, the War Priest. When you make an unarmed or weapon attack, and we do weapon attacks with the ranger, you can spend a War Priest charge to make an additional attack as a bonus action. This is very cool. Alright. And the problem with the charges is that they replenish only every long rest, so you can't use it every fight, but every so often. Anyway, but this uses bonus actions. And of course the specific cleric resource, the war priest charges, or whatever this is. And that means that we can deal damage on top of actions, and if we can get an additional bonus action somehow, then we can do this twice, which would be absolutely amazing. So, but then there's also the trickery domain, and this thing right here, grant another creature advantage on stealth checks. And who would be the one benefiting from this the most? Larian. Very, very cool stuff. Also, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like the whole idea of Tempest, because the thunder damage itself is actually kind of funny. Kind of like that. And then there was also this thing right here. Disadvantage on an attacker, possibly causing their attacks to miss. Like, this is pretty cool. Just because of the fact that it makes it unlikely for enemies to hit. That's just... I kind of want to use the light cantrip in order to make... weapons have like some kind of light aura in there. It's kind of cool. Problem is, it doesn't give you any real benefit. But actually, if it's somewhere in the dark, wait a minute. If it's glowing, that means that any enemy near you cannot hide in the dark, because nothing will be obscured. This is good against invisible characters, but we can see invisible characters, so it doesn't matter. Right. Anyway, the cleric is something for the end, pretty much. Same goes for the fighter. But what I really want right now is actually the... Also, there's an interesting addition here on the warlock. What was that thing? Was that here? No. Okay, it must have been the warlock. No, wait a minute. It wasn't warlock. It actually was fighter. Fighter level 2, I think. Yes, the Eldritch Knight. The Eldritch Knight has a very, very funny property, that it can throw weapons and they come back. That is absolutely amazing. And I actually thought the warlock can do this with the Pact of the Chain or something. But the Pact of the Chain just makes the weapon stay in your hand and not do any... No, actually, what was it? It just makes more damage. There's always something that just doesn't quite work the way that you expect it to work, and this is just a bit iffy. So, let's see. Also, I thought about using this somehow, but nah. Not blooms. And also, this one kind of goes against our way of choosing dialogue options, because it means that we have to choose very specific ones all the time. And I kind of use them as I see fit, right? I have some kind of like moral code, but that is adaptable. Alright, so what do we have here? Holy Rebuke, yeah, that's kind of cool. Healing, also kind of cool. But all of this, bonus action, that's actually kind of neat. But no, the wizard comes at the end, because the last skill, the last spell casting thing gives you the proficiency, I think, or whatever it was, for the spell casting attribute. The highest one that I have at the moment is Wisdom with 13, so it kind of goes against it. But I do have ways of getting Intelligence to very high amounts, so maybe that could work. Anyway, the idea is to use the last level of this character in order to get Wizard, and then I'm gonna learn all of the spells, have some fun with it, whatever. Actually, 2 levels of Wizards are necessary, because I'm going to get the Illusion Wizard. Not possible right now, because you need level 2 for it. And then I can cast a very funny spell. I just kind of love that spell. And that has a nice interaction with rogues, because rogues need to not be seen, right? They need to stay hidden, and this is why you need to turn enemies around. And this turning around thing is actually very, 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 very important. So we are going for Rogue, of course. Yeah, and then we can do sneak attacks, boost our damage or whatnot, and the second level of Rogue, or was it the third one, whatever. Sleight of hand times 2. Yeah. Proficiency. Do I have proficiency on that one already? That's just the thing. I want to know if I have proficiency on that or not. So... yeah, we just get proficiency. Oh, this is actually quite nice. Sleight of hand times 2 plus 9 sleight of hand tracks. Okay. More stealth. Well, this is good. And of course, this stuff to deal more damage. Very important. So, I can actually try to do this twice each turn. It's actually kind of interesting. So, what do we have here? You may customize your skill proficiencies in the list below. If you're proficient in a skill, yeah, how many proficiencies do I have? 3. Are these the proficiencies that I had from the get-go or not? Could have been the Arcana or whatnot. Whatever. This is a dexterity thing. It would actually be nice to... what is that? Granted from class. Yeah. Okay, this is the other thing. Granted from class and granted from class. So... okay, that's kind of weird. Sleight of hand is actually very low. Wield, nipple, finger, steal stuff. The thing is, I don't use sleight of hand that often on this character, and I may not even need it. Acrobatics is dexterity, but for landing on things or whatnot. Oh boy. The thing is, you can combine this, right, in order to get a +9 out of it. That's actually really cool. So, problem is, we cannot get it on everything. You can't get it on stealth for some reason, which is weird. Wait a minute. What is that? It's granted from rate. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Let's just turn everything down. Now we know what we got here. It doesn't really say how much we got from race, just that we got it from race. And if we hover over this, we do not know how it is made up of. I want to get more information. I just... Alright, granted from class. Investigation. This is good. Analyze clues, solve mysteries. Yes. Okay. What would be very useful? Do we want something that is useful in combat? Then we need to have anything athletics or acrobatic related. We are not using strength that often. So athletics is a no-go. We are not shoving and we are not trying to get shoved that much. Keep your balance, land on your feet. Well, I am also not moving around that much and I try to not stand on difficult terrain. And helps you resist being shoved. Same thing. We're not going to do that. Sleight of hands, again, the idea of stealing stuff and pickpocketing. Actually, for disarming, we got a Larian, right? So we don't need to max out something that someone else can do for us, right? That's the idea. So we don't need to do that. So stealth. Stealth is actually the only thing that we would benefit from. Sleight of hand would not be good. Stealth, yes, so that we can go into the shadows. But we don't need to go into the shadows or we don't need to do any stealth checks if the enemy is looking at a different direction. This is also something very interesting. We can just play around our weaknesses. We can just do a different strategy here. But in this case, I do not need to use an ability and waste a bonus action if I can sustain a stealth flow or if I can win a stealth check. This is also something to keep in mind. But in this case, it would be better for a Larian. So we don't need to use the stealth. We can just... yeah, we can also just try to blind enemies. And I don't need to do a stealth check if I'm not getting seen. And I can figure that out, I think. Yeah, we are going to use the illusion magic. Very, very, very late in the game, by the way, because it will be... it will just take some time to get that, but one of the higher level strategies. Actually, what I can try to do is just skill something in here And then I can reskill later once I am high enough in level in order to get the perfect combination of skills and abilities and whatever. So recognize magic and interact with enchanted items. Yeah, all of this stuff is very good because it gives me bonus dialogue options and it makes things easier. Now, about the whole survival and perception thing. Observe your environment, spot hidden details. That's good. Again, the but. This is just a numbers kind of thing, right? We have 4 characters, and if they are sufficiently capable of perceiving things, then it may just be like... Or, what if in higher levels, the difficulty for a check to work, right, is so high that a +4 is not enough? What if there are some perception or survival checks where you need to have like +9 or whatever how high you need? Yeah. Skills perception ×2. Why does it say +2? Oh, now I get it. The proficient. Where do we get the proficiency from this one? +7. Proficiency. Nah, whatever. So, perception and survival is very, very good. Actually, if I can just take both of those, that means that it's more likely for me to see things, traps and chests and so on. Which means I have it easier going forward in the game. So what about insight though? Insight was wisdom. Read people and situations to take lies. That's something very useful. Something very, 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 very useful. Okay, where do we go? Intimidate. I do not like intimidation. That's a no-go. And it also is charisma, so... no. Persuasion. Turn on quirks and control. Performance actually kind of funny, but which one of those was the one that makes prices better? I think it was persuasion, right? The higher your persuasion, the better your selling prices, wasn't it? Either this or charisma. I don't know which one it was. It may just be... yeah, okay, let's just look at this again. Because the persuasion thing is something that is actually very important. But what if we just not do that? Persuasion. Alright, how does that one work again? So, uses. Used in dialogues, obviously, helps determine the price of good sold to and bought from merchants. Trading and item pricing is dependent on what? A character's persuasion value affects prices, yes. So, the better the persuasion, the better. If a character is proficient in persuasion, they will benefit from the higher proficiency bonus. This difficulty provides... depending on the character's level, yes. So we can also just get more gold. This is a better way to get gold and not the stealing things. If a character is proficient in persuasion, they will benefit. This in turn increases the persuasion modifier. Yes, but do we get any other bonuses other than that? No, wait a minute. This is just item pricing. What else is good? Good into dialogue, yes. And Baldur's Gate is a more dialogue-ish kind of game, right? The charisma stat is only important in... yeah, once you do the role in dialogue, right? But it's not necessarily needed in item pricing. Alright, so that's a good idea. We can go to +5, which makes getting gold a lot nicer. But again, what's the problem? Can we solve a problem here or not? And could we maybe reskill our Larian so that he gets persuasion, because he's also a rogue, right? And he is usually the character that I am trying to use all of them. Okay, so wait a minute. Deception? Lie and cheat? No. Well, manipulate the truth? If you lie and cheat, you do not manipulate the truth. Right? Because the truth is the truth, and if you manipulate it, it still is the truth. Right? You're lying. That's what you do. We're not deceiving, or at least we try to not do that. You're not going to intimidate. The performance thing is the one of the funny things, actually. But we are not a bard, so... Okay, medicine. Medicine is not one of those things. So the only good thing is inside over here. One thing that I can try to do is reduce my intelligence counter and give the additional points onto wisdom. The thing is, I think every point past 13 also costs more. There's the buy-in process that happens. So I can, I think, only go to wisdom 14 or something like that. Okay, so animal handling, we can just talk to them. There's no need to use the handling here. The whole idea of that. Okay, religion check. Yeah, of course, that one just doesn't work. No idea on religion, no idea on nature. Investigation, analyze clues, solve mysteries. Is there... Okay, I have to actually look into this. Because all of those intelligence kind of things, like forget about survival or perception, I can actually try to get like arcana, history, and investigation. Let's see if we can get any bonuses from there somehow. Skills with proficiency. What is this? Skills with expertise. Oh, the proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that uses either of your chosen proficiencies. Receive a bonus to every skill that you are proficient in. This bonus increases as you gain levels in your class and applies to all checks for that skill. Okay, I have to look into Arcana real quick. Let me just look this up. Arcana. Written with the C. There's a proficiency in Arcana from Sage. It doesn't tell me where I got this from, but probably got it from Sage. Am I Sage or am I something else? The background. Wait a minute. Interestingly, I don't see any background in here. Huh. Interesting. The background should actually be listed here as well. Just for you to look into it again. Alright. Can we... No. So, let's see... Intelligence. Used in dialogue. Used to identify or reveal information about magical items and some supernatural creatures, especially those from other planes. Not helping. Related spells. Ooh. Grants a 1 to 4 bonus to on all skill checks. Guidance. When does guidance help me in this regard? Very interesting. Why the incantation for cantrip allows spellcasters to grant a temporary bonus to creatures' ability checks. Could be anything. Yeah, they kind of interact with it, so guidance is pretty much an all you can do bonus. Okay, so Arcana, History, Investigation. Those 3. Noble and Sage, yes. So, History. Rock gnomes add twice their proficiency bonus history checks, of course. Because they know rocks. And knowledge used in dialogue. Okay, history is only a dialogue thing. But again, makes it easier for you to roll properly. Hey, it's only dialogue stuff. Used in dialogue, investigation, history, and Arcana. Used in so Arcana is actually the better one because it makes identifying magical items, which we probably need at one point, more likely. So, yes. Arcana, good. History, good. Investigation, doesn't work that well. Wait, what? I don't know why this symbol right here disappears. I just want to know how or where they get the bonus from. Where do I get the survival bonus anyway? I can understand the perception. Persuasion. I do not use charisma that much. But persuasion is good for item pricing. Okay, good. How do I... Okay, this is the question I have to ask myself. How do I play this game? Do I have another character that could do a persuasion stuff for me? No. This is the dialogue character that I'm going to use. And the dialogue character is supposed to get... Actually, dialogue characters would benefit from Arcana and History, right? Because it opens up additional... or makes it more likely for those things to succeed. I could also just use inspirations if it doesn't work properly. But what do I do most of the time? How do I play that game? That's the question. It's not what is perfect, but what works for me. And I do not steal stuff, so there's no sleight of hand. Okay. Or at least I figured out that this way of playing doesn't really work in Baldur's Gate, because there's too many times when the thing fails. I do like myself some Arcana and History stuff. Kind of like the whole knowledge idea. This is just some kind of funny thing that I like. Intelligence itself, though, is not one of my higher properties, so it doesn't work that well. Dexterity, on the other hand, is pretty neat. But I don't use acrobatics, athletics, again, sleight of hand, or stealth. I use stealth in a different way, but not like that. Investigation, on the other hand, solve mysteries, clues, yada yada yada. I usually just do this on Mio. I don't need the game to point this out to me, because I... Actually, wait a minute. How does the game work like that? Does it uncover items? Makes it visible? This is, again, perception and survival, right? If it's not visible, you cannot interact with it. That's the issue here. If the game doesn't allow this to be seen, then you cannot see it. Period. So that's the actual problem here. So it's better for this to work, so you can actually see things and interact with them. And the interaction gets more likely, and I can get items or additional outcomes in the game or whatnot. Buttons will be visible, whatever. This makes it more likely. But again, so perception and survival stuff is usually something that the team, by sheer amount of numbers, is better at. So 4 people failing perception or survival checks is... Well, it does happen, yes, but it is not as likely. So we don't need one character having high amounts of perception and survival in here. It's a nice idea, but we don't need it, because it's a numbers thing. This is... Okay, how I would do this. Persuasion, on the other hand, gives me better prices. And buying items or selling items is what I basically do in this game. I'm most of the time very often at the merchant, right? Buying stuff, utility items and whatnot, buying potions, autos, whatever. And I basically pick up a lot of unnecessary stuff. So it would be better for me to get the persuasion in there and use this one. The other way would be to, if I want to sell items, use persuasion on that character only, and then I'm going to switch teams just for selling items. But this is something that I just don't like to do. Yeah. You have to micromanage a bit too much. I want to keep the team at 4 people and try to focus on that. Even if the other characters, or like I would benefit from the other characters being used sometimes, right? Okay, so Arcana and History, kind of cool. But this is something that could benefit from Inspiration. And I'm going to fiddle with things anyway, so let's just get rid of those points. And we are going to get the Persuasion bonus and double that to get +5. Right. Yeah, in this case, having her Charisma would be very useful. I don't really use Wisdom that often, to be honest, but still. I could get the headpiece that gives me 17 intelligence, and I can put all of the intelligence points that I have at the moment. I can actually get extremely stupid in intelligence, if you think about it. I can reduce the amounts of points in intelligence, so that I get 8 points. I'm going to get the headpiece that gives me a boost to 17, so I can turn from a retard to a very, very smart person. And then I'm going to use the unnecessary points in order to maximize Wisdom. Oh, that is amazing. The other way would be to just maximize Charisma, but to be honest, we are not very charismatic. We are just witty most of the time. Actually, it's a very good idea to use wit. I think this sounds like a good idea. Yes. And wit, on the other hand, could give us also religions. Benefits a lot. Benefits this thing here. Read people and situations. Detect lies. And medicine. Oh, yeah. There's something about medicine. Wait a minute. Medicine and insight. So, wait a minute. Medicine and insight. So, history, investigation. It's dialogue related. Medicine. Used in dialogue. Used for crafting extra materials with the wizard transportation school. Okay. So, wizard transportation would be cool, but I'm going for illusion, not transmutation. Even if transmutation would be very good for a consumable playthrough. Okay. Inside? Also only used in dialogue. Right. So the thing is, there's not that much that we can do with wisdom. Arcana. +4. Why do we have +4 though? Where's that one coming from? I just want to know. Granted from class. Ranger. Yada 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 yada. I just want to know where I get all of the bonuses. Investigation. It could be one of those enemies. Wait a minute. Superior material, yada yada. Mage breaker. That might be it. You gain proficiency in Arcana. And proficiency represents whether you are trained in a weapon, yada yada yada. Provides a bonus to associated rolls, making you more likely to succeed. And the proficiency thing was level dependent? Yes. The higher your level, the more likely it is for proficiency to work. And then you can get a bonus on this roll. This again also gets bonuses from skills or ability. Skills, abilities, same thing. I just want to call it stats and be done with that. Anyway, what was I? Yeah. Free from proficiency. Exactly. Proficiency makes the level increase that thing. So, where do we get history? Something in here has to say history. Something history. One thing in here says history. Nothing in here says history. So I don't know why I got history bonuses in here. It could be that I got it from gain a +1 bonus to dexterity saving throws. No, and checks. Oh, dexterity checks. All of this, but no. Investigation is an intelligence check. So, oh, okay, wait a minute. So we have to look for intelligence checks. I think this is how that works as well. This is why I really want to know where those numbers come from. No. And gain proficiency in Constitution saving throws. No. Advantage on saving throws. Or maybe it's just one of those items that does it again. Where is it? Huh. From class. Class. So the only class that I had before was Ranger. So something in the Ranger is something that I got. Okay, wait a minute. I have to look into the Ranger in the wiki real quick. Ranger. So, Ranger. So something in the Ranger gives us... there we go. Oh, just because you are a Ranger, you get proficiencies. So, wait a minute. Sheer proficiencies, spellcasting proficiencies, skill proficiencies, there you go. Wait a minute. Acolyte or whatever, this is the interaction. There. Class skill proficiencies. That's the thing that I'm looking for. All classes give proficiency in 2 to 4 skills at level 1. Generally, only the class taken at character level 1 gives skill proficiencies. In this case, it's Ranger. But some classes also give proficiency in 1 skill when they are taken at a later level via multiclassing. The Ranger in this case. The Rogue. Skill proficiencies available to each class at level 1. Oh no, wait a minute. Level 1... Yeah, level 1 Ranger and level 1 Rogue. And this is also why getting 1 level in each class is actually a very good idea, because it makes everything more likely to work. Everything, right? You're just extremely likely to succeed any throws, right? Jack of all trades sounds like a stupid idea, but in terms of dialogue options and enabling things in the game, very, very cool thing. Only thing to remember is that you should start with the character that gives you the most health. So I think it was either fighter or barbarian, one of the two, whatever. I think it was barbarian. So you have to start with barbarian and then probably go into bard, and then you can just go ham on it. But the reason why bard is because bard has some funny bard-ish dialogue options. Anyhow, so where was I? Actually, very, very interesting. Now we know why and how we got that. That's very interesting. Oh, and then there's also like the bonus from race. The race itself is the wood elf. That's why. Okay. And this is like any. Why can we get so many though? Why is it free? Wait. The ranger, any free from Acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. And I got perception and survival already. So that's good. This is the thing that I'm going to get from Rogue. Don't know. Maybe I can get even more of those. So, let's see. Which one could we get? Arcana was the one with the magical items, so that's actually a good idea. That one doesn't really work. Okay, I'm gonna put those two in persuasion just in case. Arcana was the magical stuff. Investigation. Something that I already had. But why is no, wait a minute. Arcana was from another source. The Mage Breaker. Also ranger dependent, but it has nothing to do with this. This is the level 1 bonus. Insight doesn't quite work. Wait a minute. Skill proficiency is available to each class at level 1. At the character level 1 gives skill proficiencies, but some... Okay. Skill proficiency scale. Do skill proficiencies multi-class stack. There you go. That's the most important thing. Do you get proficiency in new classes? Yes. Do saving throws stack with multi-class? Whether you get proficiency in the skill saving throws of the new class, i.e. have first barbarian and went to druid. Yeah, what happens? No, the multi-classing rules address this point specifically. What does it mean? To answer your specific... no, wait a minute. When you gain a level in a class, other than your first, you gain only some of that class's starting proficiencies, as shown in the multi-classing table. Yes. To answer your specific example, when you multi-class into druid, it's not worthy that no class grants saving throw proficiency from multi... Okay, it's not about saving throws. Oh yeah, wait a minute. BG3. Double proficiencies. Important. Depends what you mean, that they are stacking. Or at least that you can enable different ones. Right? If you have a proficiency from background, then gain it from a class. The proficiencies do not stack. If you get them from different sources, if you're an elf, you do not get to be double proficient if you select the background. Yeah, okay. So, what was it? To select a class that normally lets you choose perception as one of the skills they are proficient in the closest. So, okay. It doesn't stack, but it at least gets enabled, which is perfect. Now the big question is, again, which of those things am I going to upgrade? Perception? Survival? Hidden details would actually be very important. I mean, I'm drawing this out a lot, but to be honest, I'm not sure which one to take because all of them are like, meh. With the exception of persuasion, none of them scream to me, take me, or something like that. Maybe stealth. Melt into the shadows, yada yada, but this is... It would benefit the rogue playthrough though. Helps you with hiding and stealing stuff, but no. No, wait a minute. Analyze clues, solve mysteries. Interact with enchanted items. I mean, there are probably a lot of enchanted... I don't know how many items. I actually don't want to spoil myself too much here. But I'm gonna go for that one because this has a little bonus opportunity. Right. I think that's it. Confirm. Yes. So, Arcana and Persuasion, accept. And then I'm going to check my skills afterwards. So, where are my skills?
Never a dull moment.
And I have an awful lot of health. That's amazing. 3 stars. This is so stupid. And this one has 2. Yes. Looks like they actually do. Wait a minute, what? Okay, so Arcana we got from the Mage Breaker, yes. But where else do we get Arcana from? Athletics? Something in here has to scream Arcana. Huh. Weird. Oh, no, I get it. So you can get your primary thing, and then you can get your proficiency, like a bonus and a proficiency. You can mark it with 2 stars, basically. The skills allow 2 stars. This one has 2 stars already, and we've given it now. This one has 1 star, 1 star, right? And this one has 2 stars plus the bonus from Mage Breaker. That's why. Alright. But it would be nice to know where those numbers come from. Yeah, it would be nice to know where those numbers come from. Nowhere to be found. Why do I have lightning resistance? Ah, okay, good. That's the thing. Now that I'm just looking into this, I just wonder where are all of those buffs coming from? That's the weird bit. So, let's just quickly look at the character sheet. It would be nice to like hold down control or whatever and flip all of those pages at once. That would be neat. Maybe that's all? No. You have to flip all them manually. Like, if you do this, you open spell books and you open character sheets, but there's no way for you to flip between those pages for everyone. Yeah, where was I? Here, yes. I just wanted to look at things. Huh, yes. 2 and +9 to sleight of hands. Proficiency bonus +3, exactly. And +3, the reason why is because... Wait a minute, what level are we? We're level 6. When do you get the next proficiency bonus? Level 7 or 8? I think it's... Ah, yeah. It's like your level divided by 2, I think. That might be it. Rounded down, probably. So... Before, we had proficiency of 2. Because 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, rounded down 2. And level 12 might be a proficiency bonus of 6, and so on and so forth. So it's always even numbers, this game. Shorthand rule, pretty much. So this is 2 stars, and then a first one. So you do get... Okay, twice proficiency. Huh? Does it stack? Wait a minute. Mage Breaker. There you go. You have a history of battling spellcasters. You gain proficiency, the +3 in Arcana, and can cast 2 strike, which I don't usually do, but 2 strike is actually a very good idea. Problem: it only improves our own damage and not the rest. Or does it? There it is. Gain advantage on your next attack roll. Concentration. Nice. But most of the time I have advantage anyway, because this also gives you advantage. So, and it also gives you advantage, or gives the advantage for other characters. Only problem, this one stays on the target, and this one is a wee bit iffy, because the enemy can just go outside of it. So, yeah, wait a minute. How do I do this then? Why is it so special? This is for sneaking. Don't I have the... Oh, no, I have to get Rogue level 2 in order to do hiding properly. Every time. Anyway, this is like melee, and then range comes up here. Why does it look so weird? It should be sideways. Yeah, lacerate is weapon dependent. It should be sideways. Yep, like this.
Action, not reaction.
That's the other way around. Wait a minute.
Let's cook in.
Is that blood?
Okay. I have absolutely no common order between all of those. Let's see. Sneak attack is kind of cool. Horde break is kind of cool. So where do I want to keep that? Do I want to keep this here in this spell window? Or do I want to keep it here in the attack-ish kind of window? This is utility. This is sneak. It should be somewhere down here, actually. But to be honest, let's give it its own little section down here. So this is it. Even if it may not make sense. Not much. Sacred munitions. Wait a minute. This is a bonus thing. It comes from the weapon now. What is this one? Weapon action? Weapon action. All of this is weapon action. This is also weapon action, but this is special weapon action. This one goes down. This one goes to the left. This one goes up, and this one goes up. And now it makes more sense. Alright. Melee stays over. I could actually pull this down even further, so it is at least in line with the main hand. And then this one should be to the right, and guidance should be at the bottom left. But somehow I like the way it looks right now. It's weird. Maybe I'm just used to it. So, where was I? Still want to figure out how the calculation comes into play here. It's the background and proficiency. Mage Breaker and 2 stars. Boah. Looks like I have to look into this, but I'm gonna do this in the next... on the side, not in the next episode. It already takes a very long time. Until next time then, like and subscribe, of course, if you can maintain me rumbling and not knowing how the game actually works. Or you're just going to skip to the next marks that I have written in the description, or the first comment or whatever. Yeah, always keep in mind you can skip to specific parts if you're very impatient. Like and subscribe, and ta-ta!